Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that you can remember every second of your life. Every moment you thought was gone suddenly returns with perfect clarity. You remember your very first birthday exactly as it happened. Every gift, every smile, and every word spoken that day. Then you remember your first day of school. Every classroom detail appears inside your mind instantly. Nothing is blurry. Nothing is missing. For a moment, perfect memory feels like a superpower. You decide to test your new ability. You open a book and read a single page. Minutes later, every word remains perfectly stored. You never need to reread anything again. Students around the world quickly discover the same thing. Exams suddenly become much easier. Nobody forgets formulas anymore. Nobody forgets historical dates anymore. Test scores begin rising everywhere. Schools are amazed by the results. Universities become more competitive than ever before. Human intelligence seems to be accelerating. Doctors can now remember every patient they have ever treated. Every symptom and every diagnosis stays forever. Scientists gain an incredible advantage. No experiment is ever forgotten again. Engineers memorize every design they create. Progress begins moving faster than anyone expected. New discoveries appear almost every day. Humanity enters a golden age of knowledge. Everything seems perfect, but nobody realizes that the real problem has only just begun. The first cracks begin appearing inside personal relationships. Every argument you've ever had remains perfectly stored forever. Normally, people slowly forget the details of old fights. But now, every painful word stays crystal clear. You remember exactly what someone said 10 years ago, and you remember exactly how it made you feel. Forgiveness suddenly becomes much harder. Old mistakes never fade away. Every embarrassing moment remains alive forever. The time you slipped in public still feels like yesterday. The awkward thing you said years ago never disappears. Every social mistake follows you forever. Soon, people begin replaying old memories constantly. Some become obsessed with their past decisions. They wonder what would have happened if they chose differently. Regret becomes stronger than ever before. Every missed opportunity remains permanently visible. Every failure feels impossible to escape. The human brain was never designed for this. Forgetting exists for an important reason. It allows emotional wounds to heal over time. But now, nothing fades anymore. Every heartbreak feels permanently fresh. Breakups become far more painful. People relive emotional pain again and again. Many struggle to move forward with their lives. The past begins competing with the present. Some people spend more time remembering than living. What once looked like a superpower is starting to reveal its dark side. And the worst consequences haven't even arrived yet. Soon, people discover the most dangerous part of perfect memory. Traumatic experiences never become weaker. Normally, painful memories slowly lose their emotional intensity. But now, every traumatic event feels as fresh as the day it happened. A car accident from 20 years ago still feels like yesterday. The fear returns every single time the memory appears. Many people become trapped inside their worst moments. Escaping the past becomes almost impossible. Therapists struggle to help their patients recover, because recovery depends on the brain's ability to soften painful memories. Without forgetting, emotional healing begins to fail. Then another problem emerges. Grief becomes far more devastating. When someone you love dies, their memories never fade. Every conversation remains perfectly preserved forever. Every laugh remains crystal clear. Every goodbye remains painfully vivid. People begin reliving their losses every day. The pain never truly weakens. Mental health problems start increasing across the world. Anxiety becomes more common than ever before. Depression rates begin rising rapidly. People's minds become overcrowded with information. Every year adds millions of new details. The brain never gets a chance to clean itself. Important memories become buried beneath endless information. People begin feeling mentally exhausted. Thinking becomes slower despite remembering everything. Humanity is starting to realize a terrible truth. Perfect memory may actually be a curse. While individuals struggle with memory overload, society begins changing in unexpected ways. Police officers suddenly gain a powerful new advantage. Witnesses can now remember every detail of a crime scene. Faces, clothing, vehicles, and conversations become impossible to forget. Criminal investigations become faster than ever before. Many criminals are caught within hours. At first, This seems like a huge victory for justice. But then people begin asking a dangerous question. If memories are perfect, who controls access to them? Suddenly, privacy becomes one of humanity's biggest concerns. Every conversation you've ever had still exists inside your mind. Every secret remains perfectly preserved forever. Governments become interested in memory access technology. They argue that accessing memories could improve public safety. Some citizens support the idea. Others see it as a threat to freedom. Society becomes divided. Companies also discover opportunities hidden inside perfect memory. Employers begin expecting workers to remember everything. Mistakes become much less acceptable. After all, how can you forget something if perfect memory exists? Pressure begins increasing across society. Children face enormous academic expectations. Workers face constant performance demands. Nobody has an excuse anymore. The world becomes more efficient, but it also becomes far less forgiving. Human error becomes socially unacceptable. The pressure continues building year after year, and humanity is approaching a breaking point. Scientists begin searching for a solution to humanity's memory crisis. Eventually, they develop technology capable of organizing human memories. At first, the invention looks revolutionary. People can finally sort decades of memories instantly. Finding a specific memory becomes effortless. Productivity rises once again. But then wealthy people gain access to something even more powerful: memory enhancement technology. Their brains become faster than normal humans. They process information almost instantly. The gap between rich and poor begins growing rapidly. Education becomes unfair. Jobs become harder to obtain without upgrades. Society slowly divides into two groups. One group possesses extraordinary memory abilities. The other struggles to keep up. Tensions begin rising around the world. Protests appear in major cities. Governments face growing pressure to act. Some countries ban memory enhancements completely. Others embrace the technology. A global race begins. Nations compete to create the smartest population. Human intelligence reaches unprecedented levels. Scientific breakthroughs happen almost daily. Diseases are cured faster than ever before. Technology advances at incredible speed. Humanity appears stronger than ever. But beneath the surface, a much larger danger is growing. The human mind is approaching its absolute limit. By now, every human brain contains a lifetime of perfectly preserved memories. And every new day adds thousands more. The human mind begins reaching its natural limit. People start experiencing severe mental exhaustion. Concentration becomes increasingly difficult. Every thought triggers hundreds of related memories. Simple decisions suddenly become overwhelming. Even ordering food becomes mentally exhausting. Every previous meal instantly comes to mind. The brain spends more time searching than thinking. Productivity begins falling despite perfect memory. Workers struggle to process endless information. Students face the same problem. Learning new information becomes surprisingly difficult. There is simply too much information already stored. Doctors begin noticing strange symptoms worldwide. Memory overload syndrome becomes increasingly common. Millions of people can no longer function normally. Emergency services become overwhelmed. Hospitals fill with patients suffering mental collapse. Scientists desperately search for solutions. Some suggest artificial memory deletion. The idea immediately becomes controversial. After all, memories are part of who we are. Deleting them feels dangerous. Yet many people become desperate enough to try. Some willingly erase painful experiences. Others remove years of unnecessary information. For the first time in decades, their minds feel lighter. Humanity is forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Humanity finally accepts that perfect memory comes with a terrible cost. Governments begin creating new memory laws. For the first time in history, people gain the legal right to forget. Memory deletion clinics appear across the world. Millions choose to erase painful memories. Others delete embarrassing moments from their past. Some remove entire years of unnecessary information. At first, the results seem incredible. Mental health begins improving worldwide. Anxiety rates finally start falling. People can focus on the present again. But a new problem quickly appears. How much memory can be removed before someone changes completely? Scientists struggle to answer this question. After all, memories shape who we are. Remove enough memories, and you may become a different person. Society becomes divided once again. Some people keep every memory no matter the cost. Others delete memories regularly to stay mentally healthy. Entire cultures form around different memory philosophies. Schools begin teaching memory management as a core subject. Children learn which memories should be preserved. They also learn which memories should be released. Humanity slowly adapts to its new reality. The chaos begins settling down. People finally understand something their ancestors never realized. Forgetting is not a flaw. Forgetting is one of the brain's greatest inventions. Without it, the human mind would collapse under its own weight. But humanity's biggest lesson is still waiting ahead. As humanity adapts, scientists begin asking an even bigger question. What if memories could be edited instead of deleted? The idea sounds impossible at first, but eventually, the technology becomes reality. People can now modify how they remember the past. Painful experiences can be softened. Embarrassing moments can be reduced. Emotional scars become easier to manage. Millions rush to use the technology. At first, society becomes happier than ever. But then another unexpected problem appears. People begin changing more than just painful memories. Some make themselves look more successful. Others remove personal failures completely. Gradually, memories become less reliable. Nobody knows which memories are real anymore. The line between truth and memory begins disappearing. Historians face an impossible challenge. Witness testimony becomes unreliable once again. Courts struggle to determine the truth. Society begins demanding memory authentication systems. New technologies are developed to verify original memories. But by then, a new digital memory economy has already emerged. Some people even purchase artificial memories. Experiences can now be bought like products. People experience vacations they never took. Some remember adventures that never happened. Reality becomes harder to define. Humanity begins questioning the meaning of identity itself. And the final consequence of perfect memory is about to arrive. By now, humanity has spent decades editing and rewriting its own memories. Entire generations grow up with modified versions of the past. Many people no longer know which memories are original. Others stop caring altogether. Reality slowly becomes a personal choice. Two people can remember the same event completely differently. Both believe their version is true. Trust begins collapsing across society. Friendships become harder to maintain. Families argue over events that should be obvious. Nobody can agree on what truly happened. Historians face the greatest crisis in human history. Even major historical events become disputed. The world's shared understanding of reality begins to disappear. Society starts breaking into isolated memory groups. Each group believes its memories are the correct ones. Conflicts begin spreading across the world, not because of resources or territory, but because of competing versions of reality. Humanity realizes that memory alone cannot create truth. Something deeper is required. Scientists, leaders, and citizens gather to find an answer. They search for a way to rebuild trust. They search for a way to preserve reality. Most importantly, they search for a way to preserve humanity itself. Because something unexpected has become clear. Perfect memory did not make humans wiser. It simply gave them more information. And information alone was never enough. The final lesson is about to change everything. After decades of struggle, humanity finally understands the true problem. Perfect memory was never the solution people imagined. The human brain was not designed to remember everything. It was designed to remember what matters most. Forgetting was never a weakness. Forgetting was a survival mechanism. It helped people heal from pain. It helped people move beyond failure. It helped people forgive each other. And it helped people focus on the present. Humanity begins restoring natural, forgetting memory editing technology is heavily restricted. Artificial memories are carefully controlled. Society slowly returns to balance. People continue remembering important experiences, but they also allow unimportant details to disappear for the first time in generations. Minds feel free again. The world becomes less perfect, but it also becomes more human. People forget birthdays occasionally. They forget names. Sometimes they even forget where they left their keys, yet these small imperfections no longer seem like problems, because they finally understand their purpose. Imperfection allows growth. Imperfection allows healing, and imperfection allows happiness. In the end, humanity discovers something surprising. The greatest gift of the human mind is not remembering everything, it's knowing what to remember and what to let go. If you enjoyed this journey, there are many more impossible questions waiting to be explored. Subscribe now and join us for the next impossible journey.